Hello, folks, and welcome to How Are You Doing Right Now, the People's Talk Show. I'm your host, Shapiro-Barnum. For today's episode, we are here in Provincetown, Massachusetts, which is the gay mecca of the East Coast, where we're visiting my mom's. We had a couple of really amazing interviews today, as well as a really wonderful musical guest. All right, folks, it's time to ask Provincetown, Massachusetts the very important question: how are you doing right now? Hello, folks, and welcome to How Are You Doing Right Now, the People's Talk Show. We're so lucky to be joined right now by May and Hannah. How are you folks doing right now?
We're doing great. On vacay.
You're on vacay? How long are you here for?
We're here until Wednesday.
That's beautiful. Is it your first time in Provincetown?
Oh, no.
No?
No.
You're regulars?
Yes. Every time we have a chance, we like to come here.
What's it been like being a therapist right now? I'm sure it is very essential to people's lives.
It's a crazy question.
Yeah.
The George Floyd thing happened, and that's when it was insane. Because me particularly, my niche is I work with people of color. Like that's the people I work with, or Spanish speakers, because I'm bilingual, right? It just went from like 1 or 2 phone calls a day to like 10, 15 phone calls a day. People want to reach out. People want to have access to. People are desperate.
And the news is trauma. It is traumatic things to be seeing and experiencing.
I feel like we're all experiencing collective, like a community PTSD almost. We're all traumatized, we're all reactive, we're all survival mode right now. And we've normalized it because we have to. But when people come to me, they're like, I can't sleep, I'm having a hard time eating. I'm like, well, you're doing really good given the circumstances.
Yeah.
This is, a shit show. I'm like, I didn't hear it. You didn't
hear it. I'm always interested in how therapists deal and take care of themselves.
Well, we go to therapy as well.
Yeah, of course.
And I was going to therapy, but it was a white male therapist, a really good one.
Yeah.
But then with the George Floyd thing happened, and I tried to talk to my therapist, I'm like, you don't get it. It's time to get somebody else.
Yeah.
I love you. You're wonderful, but for this piece, I need somebody else.
Do you feel like it's really important to your clients that their therapist is also a person of color?
I think it makes a big difference for clients of color, yes. Particularly where I practice. I practice in Western Mass. It's a community that is very white dominated. So everybody studies in white dominated spaces, goes to work in white dominated spaces. It's very isolating for POCs.
Let me ask you one final question. This has been so wonderful. This is the People's Talk Show. We're giving a platform. If there's one thing that you want to say or you want people to hear or you feel like people aren't hearing, what would that be?
We're all aware of the social issues happening right now. I'm thinking in particular around race, and we all want to be supportive and vocal, but we also want to take action.
Yeah.
And so let's do this. Let's donate to the organizations that can use those resources. Let's reach out to our other white friends and talk to them about race and put them in uncomfortable conversations. Let's not leave that work for people of color, like be an ally, engage people. So that's some of the steps that I feel people should be taking right now.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for sitting down with us. It really means a lot to me. Thank you.
Thank you. This was fun.
It's fun, right? It's like a fun fact about you. I feel like there's a lot of fun facts.
Oh, it's a fun fact to me is that I'm a big brown person in Provincetown. I don't know, there's definitely under 20 of us working in this whole town. And it's because people don't necessarily feel welcome here. Originally, like earlier in the summer, I really sort of wanted to try a program to bring more people here. And then I'm sort of realizing now that I need this town to deserve that more.
Yeah.
And I need to make this town better before I can endorse it for people to come here.
How are you going about doing that?
By being successful, or as successful as I can be. There's ebbs and flows.
So you're saying that you feel like P-Town needs to earn it and needs to deserve it.
P-Town needs to, well,
Can you tell me more about that?
Well, I think it's about me not necessarily always being the most popular. The way me addressing when people are not acting appropriately, and me knowing that sometimes when certain things come at me, that it's because, and also, you see like my delivery, I don't think you would really want to be on the other side of me in an argument.
No.
Yeah. So I think that definitely scares people.
Yeah.
But then they need to realize that if I was white, they probably would be reacting to it differently. The way that I am now is sort of like my shell, and a lot of that is from the Queens. And it's one thing if you're dressed up in drag, or you're one of the many cis white people who are emulating queens, and it's another thing when you're me, and that scares people. So how does P-Town earn it? We're figuring that out. Yeah.
So day by day. Do you feel like you're meeting resistance?
Oh, absolutely, because P-Town thinks that it's too woke to improve.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you go around here and you see Black Lives Matter everywhere, but where are the Black lives? Where are all the Black people in the free housing for employment?
So how long have you been in P-Town for?
This is only my second season.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you're thriving.
So how am I making this town a better town for people of color? That, and just frankly just walking up and down the street looking great.
Yeah. That's a lot of it. And you are looking great.
Yeah, thank you.
So you've been here for only 2 seasons, and it's your mission to make change here. That's amazing.
I'm trying. Well, it's selfishly for myself. A huge problem with P-Town is that one person of color here is so incredibly embraced, but I think a lot of people think that that's enough, and so it looks like there's representation in this town, but there's just not.
No. Okay, my last question is, this is the People's Talk Show. We have all these cameras. If there's one thing you feel like people aren't hearing enough of, or you really want people to hear, what would that be?
I would say that trans Black Lives Matter. Yeah, I notice, like, I feel like I've heard that mostly from cis white people, and that's fine too, but I think we really need to stop and think about that in all honesty. And then be kinder to queer people who are not in such a pretty package. You know, everyone has different things to offer, and everyone comes to here for different reasons. I know that at least looking as close to perfection is sort of my responsibility, because I've been given certain amounts of gifts. I also put like certain amount of work into how I look, but that shouldn't be the only pathway. So I guess that's it.
All right, folks, we were so lucky to be played out by Eric Hamilton. He is a Brooklyn-based banjo player. He'll be playing Big Country by Bela Fleck. All right, folks, that brings us to the end of our show. Thank you so much for watching. Check us out on Instagram at HowAreYouShow. We also have a website, 5parentproductions.com. Well, I'll see you next time. I'm gonna go take a little swim. Adios, folks.